and I'm in Dubai right now. And she's the person specialist in corporate anthropology. What I found out that anthropology actually it's a science why we become humans and why we are humans. And this beautiful lady, she's helping a lot of huge organizations how to be stronger, how to find out these blue oceans for them and not to be in the bloody red oceans. Also, she's helping a lot women. She's helping people to overcome this COVID-19 times. Dr. Andrea Simon, the first question to you. While we were fixing our internet and our cameras, you were absolutely, because I was working as a diplomat before in Japan, and my main job, I'm director and producer of the movies, documentary films. And of course, I watch a lot of people. And how you were doing it, you were absolutely calm and you were doing it in a very positive way. Is it your way, Dr. Andrea, to overcome difficulties and something unknown? How you overcome difficulties? Because COVID-19, of course, it's a very difficult situation for all of us, especially for women, because we want to be stable. We don't want changes. And I think women, they hate changes when it's risky for their family and for their lives. How you personally overcome difficulties?
Well, good. Your observations are really quite insightful because I have developed my career. My business is 20 years old now, but before that, I was an executive and then an academic in helping organizations and the people inside change. And as you said, people, men and women, their brains hate to change. But I find that the complex problem, like figuring out how we're going to get our sound today, intrigues me. And so rather than flee it or fear it, I try to figure out how can we do this? And so today was sort of mastery that, but your positivity is a perspective on life. If you know the metaphor, is your glass half full or half empty? People said to me, your glass is overflowing. And I laugh because that's how I view life. It's a time, even in these COVID times, we turn lemons into lemonade. We take bad times and turn them into good ones. What else shall we do? And so we've changed our whole career for the last 2.5 years. And nothing has been missed. We are thriving, helping people do what they hate to do, which is to change. And their pain in their brain is something I fully appreciate, which is, oh gosh, I have to do that. Why not? Let's try it. So I hope that helps you and your listeners understand you need a different perspective on these bad, challenging times, and they are very challenging.
How you recommend, doctor, to find these blue oceans? It's very easy to say, oh, don't be in this red ocean. Don't be among your competitors where the place is already fully booked. Don't go there. Try to find the place, different place, and be the best there. Don't be in this crowd. How to find this? Should we go to another country? Should we study new language? Should we enter different groups? Should we change the way we look? Where is this blue oceans?
It's all around you. The most interesting thing is my first book came out in 2016 called On the Brink, A Fresh Lens to Take Your Business to New Heights. And in it are 8 case studies of companies that came to us stuck or stalled. And they said, exactly as you did, I don't have new clients. My product wasn't being adopted. How do I bring in more patients to my hospital? And when you looked around, their minds had simply not seen what was all around them. There's a wonderful quote by John Seely Brown, the way forward is all around you, if only you can see it. Now, here's the challenge. Your mind only sees what conforms to your current view of what is. So all the new stuff that's happening here, blue oceans, things with opportunities, we always think about the non-users, the unmet needs, the things that you can add, the new that you can create, not compete, the way you can add value and innovate, it's there. Can you see it? So I'm an anthropologist. I take my clients exploring. The first thing we do is we go hang out. And they say, what are we doing? I said, you're going to listen to people through a fresh lens. They have needs you're not hearing. I had one client sit on the telephone to listen to the inbound calls coming. In 2 hours, they never sold a single thing, but they had lots of people asking for things. And finally, he said to his customer service person, why do you tell them we don't do that? She said, you told me we did. He said, but we can do all of that. She said, nobody ever calls for what we do. They call for what they need. And that was sort of that epiphany that said, oh my gosh, there's a whole blue ocean of opportunity coming to me. And because I said we don't do that, we don't even hear it. So as your listeners are thinking about what comes to them that you say we don't do, why not? We don't help. Why not? That's not our business. Really? People are changing so fast that all of my clients are coming in saying, I need to change. How do I do that? I said, just listen. It's there. So that's what we do. We help people find their blue ocean and go swim in it and stop saying, we don't do that. Because if you do, all of a sudden, whole opportunities awaken for you.
Was there any situation, Dr. Andrea, when you helped somebody? Maybe it was one person, maybe it was a family, maybe it was a huge company, because you worked as a corporate in Citibank and in many huge companies. When it changed there dramatically, maybe they even changed the business, maybe they even changed the direction of thinking. Can you give me some example that maybe they're doing something wrong? Maybe they're selling bicycles, but they should sell donuts. Maybe in this district, nobody needs bicycles.
Well, but for this particular client I was telling you about, they stole chain for snow tires. But all the requests coming in were for all kinds of other chain. And so immediately he stopped saying, we don't, and he began to build chain in all kinds of new ways, and he grew 40%. Another client, a hospital client, said, we've saturated the market. So we took a look, and the folks they were not taking care of were men. Only 60% of men had primary care doctors. Men weren't using the hospital the way they ought to be at all. And so we created a whole new program to launch to bring in men. And all of a sudden, their business grew as people who they never served found a way to get served in a much better fashion. So, and then there was a wonderful company that had an award-winning product to fit on top of their water fountains. They called it a water filler. The problem was it won awards, but nobody bought it. So we went out to see who could use it. Colleges were buying it. This was LK Plumbing and Manufacturing, a billion-dollar company. They weren't watching what was happening. So what was happening was that colleges and universities were buying this to fill water bottles, but that wasn't really what they were doing. They were doing it to kill the water bottle. They didn't want to sell any more water bottles. They didn't want water bottles in landfills. So we went back and we said, you're positioned it wrong. You think people want to fill their bottles, but the purchasers are buying it, want to kill the bottle. And they went, oh my gosh, that's why I'm getting all these students asking me how to bring it on their campus. Next thing they know, they shifted, changed their focus and positioning. You said to me, they even changed their business. In a sense, they did. They were selling it this way. Nobody was buying. All the buyers were over here. And they said, wow, they hired a bunch of college students to go after colleges. And all of a sudden, sales began to rise. I can only tell you that the way forward is all around you if you just listen. And I can tell you so many of these wonderful stories because in Blue Ocean Thinking, it's right there. One last story is a college that had sort of saturated the market, no more. And that's usually when they come in. And so they weren't serving all the people who could need them. Only 20% of their students were traditional students. I said, well, 80% are all those folks who are working adults, single parents who need to get skill training, companies in your area who need reskilling for their folks. You've ignored all of that. And next thing you know, they were growing by leaps and bounds, serving the people who needed them, but they weren't talking to at all. So when I say the way forward is all around you in a blue ocean, it is. If you just open your mind to think about what people are asking for and say, I can do that. Why not? I mean, it's actually so much fun because when they see it, they go, oh, that's what it is. I say, yeah, that's what it is. It's not so mysterious. It's easy.
So you actually recommend to people to find out like a new way of thinking by listening to their customers or by finding new customers. Maybe they already have that customers, but they never ask them questions. What you want, what we can do for you, what is your desire, what you need at the moment. Let's say, Dr. Andrea, I am asking now, if you allow me, a practical question about Hidden Hero. This is a platform we created with my team to help people from around the world to connect with each other. Let's say you are Andrea from USA. For people who are from India, Indonesia, Kazakhstan, Dubai, and they want to find a partner who can navigate them. So this is a platform to find a hero inside of them and to be on the stage. How do you think? How should I ask my customers, my listeners, my audience? Should I ask them whom you want to listen to? What is your biggest problem? What is your biggest pain? How to start this dialogue?
Great question. Here's the challenge. People will tell you what they think you want to hear. So instead of asking them what's your biggest challenge, ask them to start telling stories. Stories about what they're doing, how they're doing it, and the joys of working well and things that are really, challenging. But it's in the story that you're going to hear the hero, because we always tell the story with us as the hero. I've done the same today, because that's the way our minds work. We have great stories in there that make us the hero. So now the question is, how do I collaborate with somebody else? Because givers, people who are sharing, do much better than takers. And so as you're asking them, what would you give to help somebody else? What kind of resource do you have? What kind of learnings can you provide? Givers are amazing people because they give it generously, not asking for anything back. And so as the hero comes up, what's the story? What would you like to share and to give? Not to what you need, but by giving, how could others find such great resources in you? In a sense, your interview today is about a gift I can give to people on how to see, feel, and think in new ways. And I think that your platform is ready for people to help each other. And I didn't know about your platform, but I'd love to join it. What could I do to give them some things to help them become the best people they've ever been? One of the things we're working with are a lot of women who have reached an interesting stage. I don't care whether they're 29 or 40 or 59, they've all plateaued. And there's something very contagious out there where women have reached a point where, is this all there is? I don't want to do this again. One woman is a CPA and MBA, never wants to do another tax return. And so we've been helping them rethink their life's journey. We've got a program to do that. But I would love to share it with your folks on the heroes, because every one of them is stuck or stalled. Sounds like a recurring theme. And don't quite know what to do, but aren't happy. Well, life's short. Let's make it a happy one for you. Can I give you some tools to take you to the next place? And it's right in front of you. What will make you happy? And how do we help you get there? Does that help?
That helps a lot. And actually, I'm planning to do a documentary now. It's called 50 is a New 30. It is about age. Because, we have a lot of prejudice in Russia and in Kazakhstan. If you are 40, you're old already. Bye-bye. Masalama. In Arabic, you should die or you should suicide or you should something. It's very interesting because I lived many and I worked many years with Japanese people, and because they're living till 90 years old, for them age is not like that. When they reach 60, they say, wow, we have a lot of money, we can travel the next 30 years. So the age is completely different. Also, I like France very much. I travel a lot to France. And when you meet people from Nizza, Cannes, Côte d'Azur, they are so free, they're so enjoying life, and you will not say this is an old woman, she's a lady. I don't know if she's 70 or 80. I'm a lady, she's a lady. So what do you think, what keeps these women that young? Like, why you are, Dr. Andrea, that young? Because the way how you implement and how you think is the way of the young person. What is that? Why some people are old at the age of 20 and others are young at the age of 90? Is it plastic surgery or plastic surgery of the heart?
A plastic surgery of the heart, I think, is right up there with what has to be done for people, because this is a self-perception and it's also behavior. When I went to my 50th reunion at high school, they all had grown into their mothers. I couldn't quite figure out why. That's the last thing I wanted to do. I love my mother, but that's not who I want to be. I want to grow to 125. Now there's the question, how? And I do think if we fill our lives with richness, with things that make us glow, then life is a journey. It also helps that we have our health. But your point is an important one. That's a very cultural thing. And I grew up in a family where my father lived to 100, my grandmother lived to 97. And as far as I'm concerned, I have a whole lot of years to enjoy, but fill it with things of value, preferably to others, because it gives you great pride back. But it's a time for sharing. There was a great little piece that came to me. I'll send it to you when we're done, about the geography of women. And the women in their 70s are in Tibet. They have all this wisdom, all this energy, all this joy, all this knowledge, and they can't wait to share it. And they're full of beauty. It was just a beautiful piece about the different stages that we're in and the countries that are metaphors for that. And while I love Greece and I love Spain, I think that there's something here for all of us to live to be forever and fill it with lots to good. Somebody said to me they were at a conference and the women were talking about trying to be empty, that they have done everything at the end. And I said, no, I want to have 5 minutes more. I don't want it to end. I don't want to be empty. I want to have more to give and more things to do. And even with COVID, it's a fulfilling time for us, isn't it?
It is fulfilling time, and I like very much your energy. It's very, very positive. I like the way how you are elegant and how you are sharing. And I really want to thank you for that, because you are a very sharing person. I like your smile very much, because I can connect to that. And I like really what you're doing. It was big, big pleasure. I will say in Japanese, domo arigato gozaimashita. That means that it was big pleasure. And send please to me, if possible, these things about women and about the age, since it can help me in the movie creation. Maybe I can also include you in that movie. It will be my biggest pleasure, because
That
you're a
would be
great
mine.
hero. You are not hidden hero. You are just a hero. Thank you so much for being with us.
My pleasure. And thank you for the opportunity. And I'm anxious to hear more about Hidden Heroes.